Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. This is Outdoors with Larry Ray. My voice is gone, and so I popped in a cough drop, and we'll see how it works from there. But this is first Saturday. Hard to believe we're in December. Gene Smith. Good morning again,
Good morning.
Gene.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Gene's been
Thank goodness for the rain.
Yeah. Gene's putting in a pun at the end of each segment, so stick around for those. He brought his what's the name of the book you got there?
Old Jokes for Old Folks.
Old Jokes for Old Folks. Well, that fits a lot of us, but I don't want to get into the next guest talking about that. And Dave Gabbard, of course, is on his porch in Lexington, Tennessee.
Watching the drizzle.
Watching the drizzle and these things like that. We had some rain and things like that. But I'm excited about this next guest. She's always one of our
she is unreal.
One of our best guests. We need to get her to the studio when she's available. But she just got back from, and I'm going to say it, Aguzu, Argentina. I guess that's the way. That's close enough.
That's correct.
For the 2023 Pan American Field Championships, and you folks know Joella Bates. When it comes to archery, I hesitate. I know Gene has talked a lot. He has taught a lot of people hunter education, and that's his passion.
Yeah, 2015 we had the World Archery in the School System in Nashville. We had 5,430 kids.
Well, Joella has probably taught more than that. I don't know.
I know that's right.
That's her passion.
I know that's right.
And first of all, good Saturday morning, Joella. Great to have you on the show. And again, congratulations on Argentina.
Thank you so much. You know, one of the things that people were telling me is, "Oh, you're so talented," and I said, "You know what? I've worked on that talent for 34 years." It's taken hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of arrows to get to where I am today.
There's no telling how many arrows you have shot in your career. And it all comes down to patience, marksmanship, concentration, and a passion for the sport. And I don't know if anybody's got a greater passion for the sport, because, Joella, to get to Argentina and to do what the USA team did, 29 medals, and to do
That's right.
and to do what you did in this 6-day event, folks, 6-day event that she teamed with Shiloh Butts in the longbow. Mixed team, the gold medal, and then there she was in the longbow women again. And the journey to Argentina was probably the most difficult journey. You've been everywhere. I know you've done everything, but
I've done a lot.
Tell our listeners about what this meant to you. I know you were representing our country, but at the same time, this is a feel-good story, folks, because Joella has always been that competitor inside of her, and she teaches so many people about this great sport. But at the same time, you had to get yourself ready for this, Joella.
I sure did. And
tell our listeners about what it took to get you to Argentina.
Well, let me take you back to the pandemic. You know, the pandemic affected a lot of us.
Oh, yeah.
Not long after the pandemic hit, I developed a condition, a neurological condition that started locking my right hand.
Yes.
And when you shoot fingers, and your fingers are wrapped around the string, and you can't control whether the fingers lock or whether they relax, it's a disaster. So I went almost 7 months without even being able to drive a vehicle.
Oh, no.
Because my hands would lock uncontrollably, and I could not make them relax.
Wow.
So I ended up not going to the doctor until late October in 2020. And at that time, the doctor told me that I had compression syndrome, that the nerves in C4, 5, and 6 were being compressed, and that was causing the uncontrollability of my hands.
Oh, man.
And I lost my grip strength in my hands. I couldn't even open a jar of peanut butter or a Coke or anything like that. So It was November of 2021 when, right before Thanksgiving, a friend gave me a bunch of coconut bonbons, and you know how delicious those things are.
Yeah, yeah.
I ate a bunch of them. My right hand locked, and for an hour and 10 minutes, I could not open my hand.
Oh, my goodness.
Scary.
And it was so scary. And I knew that I wanted to compete again. I knew that I did not want archery taken away from me.
Yeah.
So I got to thinking, you know, if I'm going to make the U.S. team again, I'm going to have to figure what this is and get it fixed.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I ended up going to my chiropractor, and the chiropractor adjusted me, and he sent me to a nutrition specialist.
There you go.
And she evaluated my diet and looked for sensitivities, and she told me sugar was poison to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And she told me to eliminate sugar. She also told me to eliminate gluten and legumes.
Oh.
That's beans.
Yeah, yeah.
What Southern girl doesn't love beans?
That's right.
Well, I could have green beans, but not other beans. You know, peanuts are a legume.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Back in May, I had a really bad reaction to peanuts, to peanut butter.
Just past May.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Just this past May. So, Larry, after I decided I had to be able to shoot again, I changed my diet.
you had to, yes.
I had to. And
Yeah.
I made the team in 2022 and went to Italy and
Yes.
competed.
I know, I remember, yes. Yeah.
And I thought I was on top of my game. Well, in the fall of 22, I came to Colorado Springs, and I got me a compound bow, and I went and hunted elk and got me an elk.
Yes.
And came back and visited my friends here at the Archery School of the Rockies, and they invited me to come work here.
Yeah.
And my husband said, okay, if that's what you love to do, if you want to. Well, what I didn't know at the time was that Coach Karen, the lady that founded the Archery School of the Rockies,
Right.
started giving me pointers. And she said, Joella, you need to be shooting indoors. So I start shooting indoors, and I'm shooting my longbow. And she said, I don't think the bow you're shooting is what's best for you. So we worked out a deal on another one.
Yes.
Wow.
So I started shooting one of the Damon Howitt bow.
Uh-huh.
But when I was in Italy, I met the man that owns Timber Point longbows.
Okay.
And he's from Estonia. He used to live in the U.S., used to be married to an American lady who passed away from cancer. So I get to talking to him, and I'm a very avid competitor.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
All of the national records in longbow were held by people that were shooting his bow.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The other two women on the longbow team in 2022 were shooting his bows. And one of the men bought one of his bows and took it home with him. Well, I knew Josh. I said, Josh, I want to shoot that bow. Can I stop by your house when I go through Missouri and shoot that bow? He said, Joe, anything for you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I shot his bow, and I fell in love with it. I mean, the first shot, it was like, this bow was made for me.
Yeah.
So I told my husband, I said, I know you're going to think I'm crazy because I just got a new longbow, but I have to have one of these bows.
Yeah.
So I called Jocko Wessels, the owner of Timber Point, and talked to him, and he custom made me a Timber Point Hydra.
Oh, really?
The grip was fit to my hand, and he did it at my preferred poundage. And the end of April, I got the bow. Well, I started shooting indoors in February, and I won the regional.
This past February, right? Yeah.
I won the regional USA Archery event, and the one in New Mexico. But I was 7th in the nation when they put all the longbow women's scores together. in April, I got my new bow.
And
the very first time I shot it, I shot the highest score I'd ever shot.
The very first time.
Wow, that's
the
fantastic.
very first time. And over the course of the next few weeks, every week I was shooting a higher score.
Wow.
Before long, I was beating the U.S. national record by a woman.
Wow. Yeah.
For 15 straight weeks, I bested the national record.
Bless your heart.
15 straight weeks. Yeah.
And once I made up my mind I was going to Argentina, I committed to doing whatever it took. And in May, I went home and spent some time with my husband. I had a gallbladder attack.
I know you did, yeah.
And I had to change. I had to clean up my diet completely. And so I went on a real strict nutrition program. I increased my protein intake and really stayed away from all the sugar and all those inflammatory things. And I've been shooting the bow more and more all the time. I had never shot a field tournament before, but I'd shot 3D for over 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So I took what I knew about shooting 3D and learned to shoot field, and Argentina was my first field competition.
Super.
Well, you got 2 minutes here. You're in Argentina. We're going to have to talk this later with some more because this is a fascinating story, folks. I wish I had more time.
We'll have time later, but let me tell you, it rained all day the first day, I played like a kid in the rain.
All right.
The
others were complaining about the rain, and I was just having a ball. The next day, it was 97 degrees and 112 heat index.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's summer down there. I mean, it's flip the nation. I mean, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's and I know the way it fell into place, folks. You need to go to look up Joella on Facebook, Joella Bates, and listen to the story because to stand up there and be one of the 21 individuals and 8 team members that got all these medals, that she's coming back with this, and we're going to talk more, Joella. It's got to be part 2 on this because
absolutely, Larry. I can't wait.
We were pulling for you on Outdoors with Larry Ray, keeping up with you and things along that line. But this young lady is an amazing person as far as her personality. It comes out of her. You can tell that she's a competitor.
You know, I met her.
Well, you got 1 minute to tell her. You're cutting into her time now.
She had a friend or a relative worked at the Med, and she told me about Joella shooting a bow and arrow.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's not the arrow, it's the Indian.
That's right.
And this little Indian loves to propel arrows down range.
We're going to talk to you again later, but go find Joella Bates, and you can go to my webpage, LarryRay.com. You can find all this information about the World Champion and the Pan American Games. Joella, we love you, girl. Thank you for
y'all.
Thank you for
I'll
being with us.
See you in Memphis soon.
Yeah, we're going to get you here. All right, have a great weekend.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's take a break. Boy, it's hard to top Joella. We'll try, though. We'll be right back.